This guy stinks!
Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Rizzo, and I'm here again with another Tekken 8 Hwoarang tutorial, in which this video will kind of be like the last one I did, except this time we're going to get into the real meat and bones of his moves that you should be looking out for to punish and or to duck as well. So it's going to be like the last video. I'm just going to try to shorten it down and not go over everything, just go after what, you know, what's pretty much the moves that players are going to use and that you should look after for to, like I said, punish and or duck and or sidestep. So we're going to start with launchers. First one is back 3. Looks like that. And back 3 on block is minus 19. So that means it's punishable. And not only is it punishable, it's launchable as well if you block it. I can hit any launcher I want that I can. I can hit him with anything after that, really. I can hit him with 4-3, that's my punishing move. I can hit him just with 2 jabs. I can hit him with that. But you want to launch this so you can get a combo. Alright, next one is up forward 4 and left flamingo. Minus 14. Now, I can't punish this with my regular punish like I would like. But if I hit that, I can punish him. So, depending on your punishing move, you might have to go to a different one to get the range. But it's minus 14. And that's his launcher in left flamingo. Now his launcher in right flamingo has the same button notation, up forward 4, and it's minus 13. And it doesn't do as much pushback on block, so you know he's right in your face afterwards, and so it's still punishable. Just like that. And now the last one will be kind of the movement you would do for Shoryuken in Street Fighter, where it's forward and then down, down, forward. So he should do something like that. And so it'll look like this. Alright, he does that yell. It hits mid, so it looks high, but if you duck, you get hit. But that's minus 18. So you launch him every time. So now we're going to get into power crushes. Alright, power crushes. Hwoarang has 4 power crushes. 1 in left stance, 1 in right stance, 2 in both of his flamingo stances, 1 each. So in those left stance, though, it will be 2 mid kicks, but he can cancel them, or he can only choose to just throw out the 1 kick. Either way, if you block either 1 kick or both kicks, he's punishable. So this would just, this is what it looks like if it was just the 1 kick. Minus 14. So, you know, I never do this, but if you see that, you know, you're plus 14 on block, you punish him. Same thing, if he was to go all the way, he will only be minus 12 on block and still punishable. Alright. Now I can't get that since that's a 13 frame startup, but with my 11, my 4-3, I can get him. Now he has 2. And he has 2 more that are punishable. 1 in left flamingo, 1 in right flamingo. They're pretty much the same move. It's just that when they connect, either on block or on hit, he changes stance. So if he was in left flamingo, he goes to right stance. If he was in right flamingo, he goes to left stance. And still, same thing applies. I punish him with an 11 frame startup. Now, what I would say is he's in the air, so I don't think you can hit mid. And you do need to make sure that you punish in time if he hits that power crush out of left stance or left flamingo, because he could do something where he go from one to the other. But you can duck it. Alright. So you could get him. You may not if you don't react fast enough to punish him. And so, yeah. Make sure you punish him before he can start it up. Okay, now on to other moves that are very punishable in just his base stances, both left and right. Alright, now here are a couple moves from left stance that are punishable as well. So here's one that I use a lot, and I know other Hwoarang players might use it. Now you can use it in either left stance or right stance, but it's that left uppercut into that left kick where he's in flamingo stance. And see, I added that jab in there just so you can see that's the fastest move he has out of left flamingo, is that jab. And even still, although you're +2 on block, you can hit him with pretty much anything that's not a launcher and get him. Like, your move is gonna beat him because he simply can't block out of flamingo. So I mean, I can hit him with anything I want. You know, I can hit him with a launcher. That's 15 frame. We'll trade. But then I can still get a combo out of him. So yeah, that super punishable. Like this, I would say ignore that frame advantage. Like +2 is like pretty much big advantage right there. I mean, you can hit him with anything. Up to like 15 frames. Because I know this is like 13. You know, I'm going to get that every time. And then you can also hit him with a power crush too. So yeah, that move is punishable if you block it. Yeah, this move, really punishable. You're +14 on block. Alright. And even with this, everybody knows by now, just duck it. If they follow through all the way, duck it. If they stop at that first kick, he's also punishable. So your best bet, like if you use this move as a Hwoarang player, I don't even use this anymore. Just because everybody just ducks it and you get launched like that. Next one. Punishable. This is another one I don't use. Triple kick. Punishable. Next one. That is only good in a combo. I would not use this. I would not use this standing straight up, but this is also one of his punishable moves. Low kicks. That is a 19 frame startup. That's about as much as his back 3. Heck, I think that's even slower than his back 3. And it is. And you're +13. So, you know, you block this. That's punish. Same thing with his kind of like his down back 4, I believe. Which he can use this in either left or right stance as well. You know, -12. And then if he was to like do both kicks, so if he was to do this, you would just duck that high. Right, so just if he does this, you duck. If he only does this, you punish. So again, punish. Because what he could also do is, if you hit this move and you hold forward or back, you go into right flamingo, which leaves you even more vulnerable because again you can't block out of this. So even on hit, like, this doesn't give you a lot unless someone's gonna let you pressure them. So if you see this, you punish it. Alright, now really in right stance. Right stance is Hwoarang's strongest stance, and that's where he gets a lot of his pressure. So there's really only like 2 moves that I know of that's like punishable, and one of them is a launcher. I forgot to mention it earlier, and it's like you gotta double tap the 4 button. So for me that would be my B since I'm on Xbox, and so it's forward and then you double tap B or 4. Otherwise he'll just go into his flamingo stance. So it looks something, you know, if I'm blocking it, you know, that's -13. So it's not launchable like the other launchers or like his back 3, but it's still punishable with correct timing. And his other one is when he does this overhead with his left leg after kicking with the right. Now he can do this in left stance as well if he's doing that like quadruple kick with the right leg where he goes, you know, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and pretty much they're all highs and they're duckable, but he can choose on the last kick to hit this overhead instead. And so anytime you see this, punish it. Alright, -14 on block. Punishable. Alright, now we're going to go into moves that you should be aware of that you need to duck, because it's pretty much movesets that like all Hwoarang players use, and that like, you know, they'll do something like this, you know, and then they just follow that the whole time, right? And so you're like, what do I do? Well, you're gonna have to duck one of these, and so I'm gonna showcase that. Anytime you see that, that's a high, right? When they're trying to get to their right stance, that's a high kick to the face. You can duck it, because, you know, remember that either gonna lead to triple kicks, which is punishable, or it leads to that. Now if you block this, you know, you're -9 on block, he's +9, and so he has advantage. Most of the time, most players, we're not going to do that triple kick, right, because it's not really good. If you duck it, you take away his offense, and pretty much you can launch him like every time. You know, so I know Dragunov players, you know, they love to do that, you know, while rising too. That little uppercut is perfect for stuff like this. All you gotta do is duck it. Because if he cancels and he doesn't do that kick, he's punished. So, you know, it's better to follow through, and with that, boom, you can just duck it every time. So you gotta make it a habit of ducking that last kick, and because usually they try to hit that too. So that's another thing. On the down 3-4, even if you get hit by the first 2, you can still block and recover to either block or duck underneath that jab. Now you might not be able to launch him, but you can still stop him. And this is good defense. So yeah, typically they're not going to block back. I have it set to where they block back since I recorded, but you can duck that too. Maybe the jab. Not even the jab. Well, this is because I have it to... He's a smart Hwoarang. But yeah, if you were to get lucky, and if you know it's coming and you block it, you can just duck the whole thing. Right? All that goes over your head. And then you can punish him. So, you know, he doesn't have any advantage. And so, you know, you gotta duck that, especially coming off of like this move again. Typically, what I would do is hit that jab. And so you can wait to duck either on this 4, or you can wait on the jab and duck underneath that. So, you know, just anytime you see he in this stance, most likely if you see the jab, duck. If you see the jab, duck. Because otherwise, you know, you can get stuck in something like this. And then you're trying to time like, oh, when's he gonna jab? You know, what's he gonna do next? Because, you know, he might go overhead. They might launch. So I would say just standing block until you see that jab, duck. Standing block until you see that kick, duck. Duck. Just like that. Now, one move, just like that. That's something I do too. So if I did this, and then that would be my whole string. Now you can poke at any time. I'm just showing you where you can duck, where the highs are coming from. So the 2 mids, and so it'd be 2 mids, then a mid and a high, and then the jab, which is also a high. Boom. So you duck, you block this, and you can jab him. So you can just stop that dead in its tracks, like we showed earlier. But if you want to keep going, you can wait and get damage. Get more damage than you would if you just poked them out of this. Alright. Boom. Now I got a combo. And so that's a little string that Hwoarang players, including myself, I use. If you duck underneath that, it negates a lot of what he can do. Because pretty much to get into Flamingo, like he has to attack with a high attack. Like most of the attacks that he uses to get into Flamingo, except for like this, are high attacks. You know, this is low high. That's high. You know, even this, if you use a cancel, that's high. You know, and then even just if you're going from one Flamingo to another, that's a high. That's also high. Even that, you know, doing those jabs, those are 2 high jabs. Even if you just to do the 1. Alright, so most of it duckable. The only one I say isn't will be like this, where I can cancel. So instead of letting them like drop it, I can go here. I can cancel this, but most players don't use that stuff because it leaves you very vulnerable. And now for the power crush, there's a duckable power crush he has that's in his right stance. And just like that, it's +5 on block, so it's really good. Sometimes I use it to set up a launcher, but you can just duck it. So pretty much any time, like for me, when I'm in pretty much if I'm in a right stance, I would use that. So you can use it like that. Anytime he does this, anytime I end up in right stance, you know, I can just, and then boom, hit it right afterwards. So if you see it coming, you can duck it. Also, one last thing, it's the move he does where that's one that trips players up sometimes, where they will have flawless defense and then they get hit with that because they think they can attack, or they just, you know, they might block that but then they don't expect the jab, in which again it's the same thing, you duck underneath. You see that jab? It's the same thing. He even does it out of left flamingo. If you see that jab coming, you just duck underneath this. I'll show you right now. Just like that. So you can get hit with all of this, or you get hit by those two, and then you duck. And then you get a combo. So, but if you get hit by that mid, then the jab is guaranteed. Alright, so if I got hit by all this, and let's say I duck, alright, the jab is guaranteed. So you can still recover even if you get hit by the down 3. You can recover to where you can block it and then punish accordingly. Now, I typically don't sidestep against Hwoarang players, so people can, you know, you can choose when and where to pick your spots to sidestep. I typically don't, because I'm like, I either just block it straight up and punish, or just duck. But I know, like in this, you know, some players will sidestep me, and you know, anytime I'm like this, if they duck, they can sidestep, and then I can't get off any moves like that I want to. But yeah, for the most part, Hwoarang, like, you just gotta lab him, and then you'll see like he has a lot of openings in his offense, and that if you take it away, it really negates a lot of he can do. And I guess the last thing I will show you is grabs. Pretty much the one grab, like there's like 2 grabs you gotta pay attention for. It's this one, and then it's this one. There's also this, but not a lot of people use it. So I'm gonna just tell you, if you see this grab, that's a 1+2 break. So he can do this standing straight up in both stances and in both flamingo stances as well. So sometimes I would like to do that just to get close, and then, you know, I'm here, I'm close, I grab them, they don't expect it, because, you know, they might be trying to expect, you know, the jab or something, or this, or a launcher. So, you know, they might be standing block. Just get close and you grab him. I especially like to do it like after heat. So if I was to get him to block and he blocks everything, that's when I use it right there. So that's 1+2 break. This one, this grab is only used in right stance. It does like 40 damage. I think it's his most damaging grab, apart from maybe this one. But this one, I use this in like when I do down 3-4. After I hit that 2, I grab. Most people don't expect it, and it pretty much beats out whenever they try to attack me, because you can grab them at the start of their attack, and then you get that damage. So that's one I'll use, and you just grab them. That is specifically, I think, a 2 break. I might be wrong. Take a look at the moves list. So yeah, also possible during right stance. Yeah, that's your 1+2 break. That's the one we did, I showed earlier. And then, yeah, right stance approach. So this is a 1+2 break as well. So yeah, both of these 1+2 breaks. This one and this one. This one I know is just a 1 break. So this, you just spam the X button if you're on Xbox, square if you're on PlayStation, and then if you use like hitbox, it's just your 1. But mainly, you know, and then you got this one, that's another 1+2 break. But most people aren't going to use those. They're either going to use this or that. Especially after like doing this attack. You know, they got you just boom, grab. Most of the time people won't see it coming. So that's all that there is for Hwoarang that I advise people look out for when playing against him. It's pretty much how, you know, I pretty much don't lose against other Hwoarang players. I typically don't lose mirror matches simply because, you know, yeah, I say all this stuff ahead of time. Granted, I am a Hwoarang player myself, but, you know, even still, yeah, he's still tough to play against sometimes, depending on the person. But if I lose the match, I'm not losing the set. Unless they don't rematch me, but most of the time, I don't lose. So yeah, hopefully this was better than the last tutorial I did for defending against Hwoarang, and let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next battle. Peace.